was in the newsroom.
I was at my desk.
I was at a grocery store.
We saw a tweet from the police saying, you know, there had been a bus crash of some sort or like an incident.
Like most police tweets are after the fact, usually like a couple hours after, but this one was reporting a crash, and it seemed serious immediately just by the tone of it.
I was on my way home coming along Prince of Wales when one of the editors called me and told me to turn around.
One of the editors called me over and just said, this information is starting to come in about something having happened at Westboro. It looks like it could be bad.
I got a Slack message from Drake Fenton, and the message was basically, do you see what's going on right now?
I was the first one from the newspaper that was there. I don't recall any other TV station cameras there or anything until a little bit later.
It started coming into focus what it was. You just have one of these, you're like, oh, this is not just like a little crash. This is a big deal. This is a big story.
Everyone else was rushing out to the scene. I knew that since I was the late guy, I'd be there for a long time. So I immediately went home, got every bit of winter clothing that I had, and headed out to Westboro Station.
There were many first responders there. There were police all over the place. There were fire trucks, ambulances, paramedics. But most of that was all contained down in the transitway.
And it almost looked like kind of a mountain rescue because there were ladders going over the debris and ropes and first responders all over the place. And it was hard to make out the front of the bus.
Everything's just happening so quickly, so I remember people were getting off other buses that had been on the transitway. They were unloading, so I just ran over to these people and started asking them what they had seen, what they had heard.
Solid information is the hardest thing to come by. There were a lot of people standing around. A lot of them didn't know anything.
It was quite clear that there was loss of life, right? So we needed to figure out to what extent that loss was.
A couple of city councillors came by and said that there had been a number of casualties taken to hospital. And that's what it sounded like, was a number of minor injuries that was, going to resolve itself.
I, got information that there were 3 people that had died. And at the time, the number of seriously injured was about 17. That number later grew, but that was, I think, the first instance of understanding how grave the situation was and really what we were looking at.
And they asked me to go to the hospital. About 5 or 6 ambulances came in, really one right after the other. I mean, I didn't know much, but at that point I thought, this is not good. Not when ambulances are coming in, one right after the other.
I managed to track down a woman who was leaving the scene and she was walking quickly away, and she walked by us, and I asked her if she'd been on the bus, and she said yes, but she wouldn't stop walking, so I had to walk along with her. And she started to describe what she remembered from the crash. And one of her vivid memories was the driver standing out in the open, just saying, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And I think that was the reaction for the whole city, in a way. It just could not believe this had happened again.
By the end of the day Saturday, we knew her name. We knew that she was a junior driver. Then into Sunday afternoon, we had a clearer picture. We knew her name, we knew she was a rookie driver. We knew that she had been in previous collisions as an OC Transpo bus operator. And we started to kind of peel back some of the layers there. And by Sunday afternoon, we had a story ready to go.
Funny, when things like this happen, it becomes a small town, and you'd be amazed how people kind of rally together.
Sometimes, news comes and there's this, big peak of excitement or interest, and then it kind of tails off. But we've had stories on it since. We've talked to and printed letters from the families who were affected directly, and those have gotten just huge interest from our readers, because I think this is a story that has resonated with lots of people, and until the trial is done with the driver, will continue to resonate.
I think about the work we did to tell the stories of those 3 families and, explain that their loved ones didn't come home that Friday night for dinner, right? That it wasn't something that they could do anymore. And so, You know, I think that makes me really proud of our newsroom and what we could do, because it wasn't just the stories of those 3 families either. It was the stories of the people on the bus who heard the screams, who also went to the hospital, right? And their families thinking about what could be happening to their loved ones. It was really a moment, I think, in the city's history.